Hello everyone and welcome to Comment Below, a podcast where we talk about the news and topics of the week, but more importantly, what has been commented below. We delve into the mess that is our social media, finding the stories you may or may not be talking about. Isn't that right, Ben?
That's correct, Alex.
Before we say anything, I'm very aware that I haven't changed the intro, despite saying last episode that I will be changing the intro.
Mm-hmm.
If anyone's got any suggestions, please do.
No, it's your job.
I don't know what to say. What can I add to that? Come on, what can I add to that?
You wanted to change it.
Yeah, but what more can I say as an introduction? What would pull, if you were a listener of the Comment Below podcast right now, what keywords would make you go, you know what? I'm going to carry on listening to this podcast right now, right this second.
Gay.
So if I just went, hello, welcome to Comment Below, I'm gay. A podcast where we talk about, that would get...
Hello, welcome to Comment Below, a camp old time.
Oh, a gay old time podcast.
I don't know. Where you see the comment. I don't know. I was part of this already, so I've already done what I think.
I feel it's quite self-explanatory.
Last week you wanted it all changed, and now...
Well,
now
the
you're
problem
going back
is that we call ourselves Comment Below. We had like good intentions of starting this podcast where we'd be talking about talking about a news topic and then the comments below. But we tended to talk about the news topics and then just forget what's commented below.
Our opinions and the things that we say are based off of comments we've read below. So maybe you should talk about like where we take the Discord online.
See,
something like that.
See, this is what I was looking for. This is what I want from Ben. Hey, you know what?
We take the comments and form our own opinions in a balanced and nurtured
way. No, a balanced and informed way. Yeah, but then that sounds too gushy. See, if I heard that, I'd be like, nah.
That was a joke.
Snowflakes, get off our land. If you guys want to get in touch with us, any news articles or any news that you've seen during the week and you'd like us to talk about it, then please go to X at Comment Below Pod, Instagram at Comment Below _pod, or you can email us commentbelowpod@gmail.com. Don't forget, if you're listening to us right now, hello, thank you, welcome. If you're new, don't forget to subscribe. If you want to watch this podcast, we do it in video form, don't we?
Yes, on YouTube. BAM Productions.
BAM Productions. Search BAM Productions or Comment Below Podcast, and you should find us there. And then you can literally comment underneath the video. You can subscribe, ring the bell, give us a thumbs up, and you'll never miss any future episodes of this or any of our podcasts that we record from this day forward or this day back, because there are plenty. There's like a live. It's like you know those sort of streaming services where you pay $5.99 a month to watch content? You don't need to do that. Just find BAM Productions on YouTube.
There's only 22 main episodes and 24 Christmas episodes. Every December you could subscribe to us and get lots of content.
Well, and the other thing, we don't promise that because it means we have to do it.
No, back content that we've already done. Just replay it all.
Yeah, but it sounds like we're going to do that every year. But there's other podcasts as well. We do another podcast on there as well. Yes, that's what I'm saying. So this is like WWE Network style content where it's one thing embodied in lots of different things.
Yeah, it's like a Marvel universe of podcasts. Right.
The Ben and Alex universe, the Blex universe. Come join us.
So how about this for a hook? So coming up on the podcast this week.
Oh, goodness me. You trained yourself.
We are going to be talking about Universal Music pulling all their content from social media, mainly TikTok. We've got the Apple Vision Pro launching and Elmo, fame of Sesame Street.
He broke the internet.
Yeah, he's broken the internet more than Kim Kardashian could. But before we go on to those charming topics, just to go on to my continuation of TikTok.
Things on TikTok. Yeah, what was it last week? It was
people picking up snow, cooking it, and eating it.
Yes, that was
the ice cream, snow ice cream, which is disgusting.
Mm-hmm.
And I've still seen a few of them, by the way, this week, but this gross.
We've got snow due here next week.
Well, maybe I'll make you some snow ice cream.
Oh, shall we do it? If there's snow, should we make a little video and put we can do a YouTube short. We've not done one of them yet.
Well, that's
a reason to join us on YouTube. There you go. A YouTube short of me eating snow.
And snow ice cream and then being in hospital the next day.
Yes.
TikTok's ever changing, which is what we're talking about coming out soon, aren't we, actually? How topical. The thing that's annoying me this week on TikTok is where I've noticed a change is the TikTok shop has been a bit annoying for a while. And I keep coming across these lives of different people trying to sell these cheap, rickety treadmills. And all they do all the time is just go on live and they're there. And there's this one person, she's like Crystal with a K. And she's there walking every morning, every evening. She's on her treadmill. Dun, 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 dun. She's there with her phone and music's blaring and like there's a light going on in the background. And she's like, yeah, in my shop, go buy it, and it's really annoys me, and I don't know why.
How
Because
big? Sorry, how big are these treadmills? Because
tiny. It's got no arms, right? It's a thing on the floor you like tuck under the chairs.
But they must be quite flat but long. So they quite like, how long would you say? Like half a meter?
I don't know.
Because I'm
2 of my laptops laid out flat.
I work in delivery. I do deliveries for a certain postal group, and I don't want to say that.
And is there lots of TikTok shop treadmills?
There's recently I told you this yesterday. I said I did my shoulder in. I had to pick up this heavy box.
It's probably one of them.
And it had TikTok shop sellotape all over the box.
Blame Crystal with a K, because
Bloody Crystal with a K.
she's on there, and I looked on her profile, and she's just trying to sell soaps, candle, anything that goes. And now she's on her treadmill thing, which is fine. But then I keep scrolling through, and there's loads of different people doing these stupid treadmills, which just look so rickety, and it's just annoying me.
I do
because
need a
they're it's like watching a QVC or something.
How much are they? I'm tempted.
Well, if you use Crystal's code, you get 15% off. No,
Really?
I'm joking.
Oh, okay.
They're like £180.
How does TikTok
But they're walking only.
work?
One.
Oh, are they? Oh, I don't want one of them then. How does TikTok Shop work? Because like, does TikTok? Is it like a pyramid scheme? So you buy in all the stock and then you have to sell it on.
I think you just have like an affiliation code, so you get a %.
Okay. A bit like what Amazon
Back. Yeah, a bit like that.
Okay.
I don't know. Crystal's there trying to flog this, and she's like, I'm just doing it. But the thing that annoys me is that they pretend they're doing it like, I'm on a weight loss journey, come support me, no negative or whatever.
Right.
But it's obvious that's not what she's doing.
No, she's
all
trying
these
to
people
sell
are just
that.
trying to sell this tatty thing, and it's just annoying me. And she's also now putting gym stuff on and then trying to sell the stuff she's wearing while she's on the treadmill.
I mean, she knows her market. She's doing well. You know, it's like product placement, isn't it?
Well, she's trying to save up for breast surgery.
Okay. Is she then
She wants
going
an
to sell that
uplift.
online? You can get breast surgery too. If you're going to do it live on
Yeah,
TikTok
come on.
and right throughout the whole operation, she's just going to be like going, look, guys, look what's happened, man.
So, you know, we're all there for her. She's lost £1 in a week.
Good for her.
So there you go. I'll keep you all
the
updated.
piss.
I'm not taking the piss. I'm saying I'm going to keep everyone updated on Crystal's treadmill
Well,
journey.
She
Yeah.
might be, you know, her goal with weight loss might, especially if she's having an operation, because that's quite a big operation to have done, to have a breast.
Exactly.
Is it enlargement or reduction?
I didn't go into that much detail.
Well, either
I
way,
scrolled off by then, but something traps me in, and I watch it for a bit. These lives, so then what happens to me?
what's trapped me lives recently? Because I normally swipe lives and don't really think much
Not
about
Chelsea Leart.
No, there's that weird guy who's for some reason keeps coming up on my TikTok.
Oh, the OnlyFans.
He
Yeah,
keeps
there's
going on
lots
about
of
his
them.
OnlyFans, but I swipe him. But I know what keeps coming up on my thing. Speed runs for Super Mario World.
Oh, that's very specific.
But I've watched one speed run on YouTube because I had literally nothing else to do and I was bored and I just wanted to stare at something while I was doing something on my laptop. And since then I just keep getting them on my line.
Right, it's weird stuff like that. How is it all linked?
Well, it's all, you know how it's all linked.
I know it's
all
scary.
IP address, isn't it? It knows all your information from. So if you look at one thing, it connects it all together.
Or maybe you'll get Crystal on yours soon. Now I've mentioned
Oh, I
it
hope
to you.
so. Yeah, I really do because I really want to see that. But unlike you, see, this is the difference between you and me. I can swipe it.
I do.
I don't
My
stare at it.
curiosity takes over. It's like Chelsea Leart. She's awful, but there's just so much going on. She got a tarantula sent to her in the post the other day.
Tarantula? Why?
Yeah. Some fan sent her a tarantula.
But why is she giving
pet.
away her home address?
I don't know. People leaked her address. They keep calling the police, and they turn up to her house all the time, saying like something's happened in her house, and it's trolls online saying check this address to make sure it's safe. It's very traumatic. Although there is rumours that she's actually doing it on herself
Oh, I'm just
to get attention, so no one really knows what's going on. Anyway, it's enough of Chelsea Leart and her
But not enough of
tarantula.
TikTok, eh?
No, because we are going on to... So maybe we'll see the end of TikTok from this. Will it be the end? Because obviously TikTok is known for doing trends, music trends. Random bits of songs get picked up and then people make videos to them. But Universal have done the unthinkable and pulled all of their music from the TikTok app. So...
Well, according to the article from the BBC website, BBC News website, the reason is it's overpayment. So I believe that Universal feel like TikTok aren't paying enough in order to have the artists kind of reimbursed for their music being used on the platform. It's not like Spotify where the artists, I believe this is still the case for Spotify, where the artists get 5p for every play that's done on the
every 1,000 plays.
It's something like that for every time it's used, played on their on the app. So I'm presuming it's a bit more tricky for TikTok to kind of.
It's not a full song on TikTok though, is it? It's a bit of the song.
Yeah, but we know from maybe, I don't know if the influence is quite so high, but TikTok, if something's on TikTok and it trends, it tends to make it to the chart. So it does. So even though TikTok is a small part of like the number of people like pay the music they make, or the money they make from the music, the larger it kind of like a river, it flows into a much larger money pot at the end of it. So that benefits everyone. It benefits TikTok, but it also benefits the artist to have that play.
Yeah, and it benefits Universal because they're not getting in the charts from videos on TikTok. It's people see it on TikTok, then listen to the song on Spotify or Apple or whatever, and then that's where. So really, it's kind of free advertising for the Universal record, but they're kind of biting themselves.
Yeah, they're biting themselves on the arse because TikTok has said, Universal have openly said that the revenue they make from TikTok is 1%. 1%. So it's not even enough to kind of warrant them saying like, oh, it's a real effect on our business model, because it hasn't got an effect on their business model. In fact, I would again arguably say that TikTok using their music kind of introduces people to their music, so then they would then go onto Spotify or go to HMV and buy like their CD. You know what I mean? So it's actually it's a good way of kind of like introducing people to music they may not have heard of before. I think there's more to it because
greed.
No, I don't think it's greed. I think it's more the case that
Universal going to make their own TikTok app in America.
Something along those lines. Like TikTok is obviously still getting a lot of hate from the American government because they think that the Chinese are trying to like steal all their information.
Are you from China?
I am, and I've been in their military and I've got citizenship.
You're from Singapore, not China.
Yeah, no, I know. I was joking.
Yes, that was
I'm not from Singapore either. I'm from the United Kingdom, sir.
That's what. Who was he? Someone Cotton. I think his name's Tom Cotton. Was interrogating the CEO. Yeah, Tom Cotton was interrogating the CEO.
The American
of
CEO of TikTok.
And he kept asking him like, "Are you from China?
Have you been to China?" Which again, that's racial profiling because he's from Singapore, so they all look the same.
Have you been in the army? Have you been recruited? Yeah. It's like, all right, Tom Cotton. I've never heard of you before. You sound like an EastEnders villain, but not impressed.
No, he sounds like a racist.
No, it's Tom Cotton.
Oh, I see the name Tom Cotton.
Rocky. It's Rocky, actually.
That is. But the way he was asking those questions, it's clear what he was indicating. It's like, you look Chinese, so you must be Chinese. It's like, for God's sake.
I love the American TikTok CEO. He answers the questions so like well, because he did a thing last year where he was interrogated, wasn't he, with all the idiots. But there's an artist, MNEK, who tweeted out about this, or X'd out about this. It's hard to say X.
People still say tweet, don't they?
Yeah, they do.
They just call it a tweet.
They said, as an artist who used to be signed with Universal Music Group, I really don't know how they think this whole TikTok boycott is going to work out in 2024. After all this time of bullying their artists into becoming influencers, they then decide to pull this. Not to mention, all their employees are doing up in those like in the offices meetings, are looking at TikTok.
Tic Tacs.
God, I'm like a GB News presenter there. That's what they call it.
As fast as happening.
For the next best trends. They have whole ass meetings about TikTok, like ... What are they doing? This is a genuine question. It's silly and it's greedy, if you ask me. So basically what they're saying is the producers are saying to their artists, if you want a successful record, go post it on TikTok, make a meme, make a viral hit, be an influencer, show your face. And now they've forced all the artists to do that. And now they're saying, we're taking all the music off, actually. And it's also not good because TikTok's a really good way for unknown smaller artists to be able to find.
Yeah, but they won't be signed up to Universal, so they can carry on.
Well, some of them
they like.
Because there was a band who replied in MNEK's tweet who said, we're a small band, 2,000 hits on Spotify, but we can be found on TikTok and then it can change everything. So, yeah, I think it's a shame that they've done this because it's just free advertising they're pushing away, really.
It's interesting, actually. It's not actually it's not actually an American brand. It's a Dutch-American brand, apparently, Universal Music Group.
I looked into the person who owned it. He's worth like 8 billion or something. And there's some
But it's
dodgy
again,
stuff.
it's shareholders, isn't it? It's shareholders, isn't it? It's all that ball again. It's like the everlasting growth of a business, which is impossible. That can never happen in capitalism. You cannot just keep growing and growing and growing and growing. At some point, you will have to stop or just accept that you won't have as big a year as the one before. But you always have to make sure the shareholders, see the money. And so it's just this it's like it doesn't exist. That money doesn't exist, but they have to find ways to make it exist. So I guess, like I said, it's 1%. If 1% of the revenue is TikTok, and Universal think they can make 2% from pushing their agenda even harder with TikTok.
And lots of people think they're going to go back on this and go back on there.
They will eventually go back, without doubt. But what I have enjoyed on TikTok is that a lot of people have been using generic
Lift music, elevator music.
Yeah, what do you call it? Not freelance music. Copyright free music. And they've been basically doing dance routines that you've seen from other songs to this free music. One of them you said was a lift music. One of them I saw was a sound of a checkout, and someone just kind of going, like, dancing to it. It was just brilliant.
Exactly.
I love it.
The trouble is Universal needs TikTok more than TikTok needs Universal, I think, because of all the look at all the things that have like become number one like 20 years after they released because it went viral. Like the Christmas song with that woman this Christmas did that, didn't she? The one she sung it when she was like 6 years old, but she sounds about 80 in it.
Yeah.
That went to number one, and Sophie Ellis-Bextor. Obviously, it was because of the film, but there was lots of TikTok trends about it, and that's gone to number one.
Well, that song's owned by Universal, so that's not being pulled. But you're right about saying how they need TikTok more than the other way around, because another point is that TikTok are now pushing long form videos, so they're actually they're genuinely trying to move away a little bit from these kind of trend 30-second endorphin-induced videos.
They're vertical.
Yes, they are. Horizontal.
Yeah, horizontal.
They're trying to move to horizontal videos as well. But the TikTok are pushing long.
Should we upload the whole podcast on a TicTok video, 30 minutes?
People are doing that. People are genuinely doing that. I think we've had this discussion.
The clip this week is going to be a 30-minute video on TikTok.
The whole podcast. Yeah, clip. No, you joke, but people are doing that because people are being told that's. You're like, I can see you. Like, if you were sat here right now, you could hear a hamster wheel running through.
Well, there is a video on YouTube or on TikTok to watch.
But you could give both options. That's what I'm saying. Because what TikTok are genuinely trying to do now, and YouTube, I don't think they're that worried, but they're wary of it happening. Is that TikTok is trying to see itself as almost like a competitor to YouTube?
But hopefully they start paying their users then, like YouTube do, because YouTube's really good for their scheme.
They are. That's
TikTok
true.
Isn't quite so much. You get like 6 million views, you get like 25p.
But look at the power of TikTok, just quickly. Just look at the power of TikTok. Every single social media, where Twitter had it, and then Twitter got rid of it. Well, they got fines. But Instagram, Facebook, YouTube, they all introduced short form videos when TikTok came along. And now TikTok are like saying, no, we don't want to do that anymore.
And YouTube Shorts.
That's what I said, YouTube as well, yeah.
So, yes. Long live TikTok.
I know TikTok's fun.
Because we love the American CEO. So.
Yeah, exactly. I think people. I know someone genuinely who won't go on. They whenever they share a TikTok style video, I just call it a TikTok video. It's always off of
Instagram Reels.
And I said to them, it's like, why don't you just go on TikTok? And literally their response was, because I don't want the Chinese to get my information. This is a person who also used to shop on Temu.
That's well.
It's like, honestly, where did your brains go?
Credit card, yeah.
Aye, anyway.
Okay, so next topic then. Apple launched Apple launched a brand new product for the first time in 7 years, I think it was, I read. So it's the Vision Pro, which is
longer than that. Do you not think like the first original product was the iPhone?
No, but like a new, I think the last one was the watch, was it? No.
Yeah, maybe. So I never thought that. Yeah, fair point. Shut up. I will keep up.
So yeah, they launched the Vision Pro, which is a goggle sort of headset. Not really VR headset like we've seen.
It's AR, not AI. It's not even that. It's augmented reality.
Yes, which we saw on the 3DS many years ago.
That's so cool, the one on the 3DS. When you used to get the cards with the question mark block
on the table.
Oh my God, I forgot about them.
Nintendo were there first.
Nintendo are always pioneers. And you got the camera, and Mario would come out of this hole. And do you remember the one when you used to? Do you remember the one when you used to get like you take a picture of your face or someone's face, and then you'd kind of shoot them?
Oh yeah,
That was brilliant.
Maybe they can put that on the Apple. There'll be games on there soon.
God, can you imagine if that's what this $3,500 device turns into?
Well,
a cheap game.
I mean,
console.
there was a report saying that there's actually more employees at the launch day than there were customers. But like you say, it's $3,500.
$3,500.
And this is the first version as well, like not a prototype, but you know what I mean. It's like the first version of anything is going to be a bit
dodgy. It's going to be more of a prototype for people to see what they can do and how far we can go in the future. I mean, I've seen a few videos on YouTube where they've given it to people to review, to have a look at, and I think universally people have said it's pretty smart, it's pretty cool. Whether it's $3,500 cool, probably not. But then it's like anything. It's like when DVD players first came out, they were like £1,000.
exactly.
And then by the end of their lifeline, they were like, you could buy one for 20 quid down the road.
Well, that's what you need when there's a new product like this. You need those people who can afford it and who are a bit tech heady to support it in its first early stages. And then in a few years, we then buy the nice version where it's like just a pair of glasses or whatever.
Don't forget, this is also called the Pro, which would indicate that Apple may release a step down version, which would be then cheaper. Maybe only $3,000. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I saw something on Twitter where someone took off all like the casing, and the actual tech of the goggles is really small. It's like that thick, and just a pair of like goggles. So there is scope there for it to be reduced and stuff. I think that's the main problem with it, is the battery pack has to be in your pocket.
Yeah, you last 2 hours if you're unplugged.
Yeah, stuff like that.
The lightning, they also, the cable that goes into the battery pack is not glued in, but it's basically you can't remove it. But someone had removed it, took away the casing to see what the connection was inside of it, and it was a brand new type of lightning connector. So everyone's saying that if the EU hadn't introduced, they're saying what we could have had, if the EU hadn't introduced their law that you had to have USB-C for things. So then Apple just decided we'll make all our phones like that from now on, and all our products use that connector. That new lightning cable would have probably been the new connector that they would have used in the phone. And apparently it's really good. It's actually very good. It's got more connectors than what USB-C has got. And it's
fast charge.
Much faster charge. Apparently it's like far better. So as much as I agree with what
EU,
I know, Brexit benefit. UK don't have to bother. Have you seen the update of the new iOS?
No.
In Europe only, because in Europe they've also got a law where you're not allowed to have like a monopoly on the App Store. So now in the EU you can now upload the Google Store or the Microsoft Store and stuff like that on your Apple phone. And also Safari, you can't make Safari the only browser that you, what do you call it, like the default browser. So now you can choose Google or Chrome. Is that there? I mean,
so how come I can't have the Apple one on my Samsung phone then?
Because Apple wouldn't share it with anyone else, would they?
That's not very fair.
Apple doesn't want to share it other companies onto their phone, but they have to for the EU. But it's funny because it's happened in the EU. I don't know if it's happened in the UK, because obviously we're not in the EU and all that. But the rest of the world are really angry because they're like, because this is the one thing the Apple haven't shared with the world. So the USB connector they have, but the storefronts and all that they haven't. So America and Australia and all the rest of the world don't have that because there's not laws being introduced like they have in the EU. And they're really angry about it. Like, people are like, oh, we should be allowed to choose our storefront and whatever we want to have.
Right, but what about the Vision Pro?
Well, the Vision Pro looks very smart, I must say. The Vision Pro looks very cool, and I'd love to have a play with it, but I would never in a million years spend $3,500.
Do you know who did buy one on launch day?
Shane Dawson.
Yes.
He's actually. Yes. Oh my God. Of course he did.
Drop in the ocean.
He's just had 2 kids, but he'll spend $3,500 on a blooming ice set.
So there you go. But
how do you know that, by the way?
Because I saw.
Here we go.
It was from Reddit.
By TikTok Live.
No, it was a Reddit post about someone asking if Shane was using Ozempic, and then they said there was an Instagram story. So then I went on an Instagram story to see, and then I saw that he and Rylan were just using the. They had it on his face, and he was like, "I've lost my husband to this." Whatever. So so they bought one,
which won't show any of their pictures.
But yeah, it's a weird thing because you can. Lots of people are saying the best thing about it is the cooking thing on it, where you're making food and you can have a recipe floating and timers above different things. Lots of people saying that's like the most futuristic-y a thing that they can actually see being used as it goes on.
Well, isn't the point of this, as I say, again, isn't this like a prototype for what Apple kind of want? So Apple obviously, not single-handedly, obviously there's been other mobile phone companies, but with the iPhone, they kind of pushed forward the idea that you always have a handheld computer device in your hand. So you're constantly got emails and this and the other. And the watch, they did kind of something similar with that as well. So you kind of like always looking at your fitness and whatever, making sure you're not dying. Isn't this kind of the idea of this, that eventually we just always wear them?
Well, on there's been a few videos I've seen where someone is, and this is going to be where like maybe laws and things are going to have to change, like using mobile phones when driving, because someone was driving with one on.
Okay.
And it's like, is that against the law or not? No one knows, because the vision may be impaired, your sound, your hearing may be impaired, I don't know. But maybe you could have like maps open while you're driving, and they're like, you see ahead of you and you see the arrow and tells you where to go. I don't know. Maybe that's what we can do. And someone else was like walking across a road, like doing that and doing all these things while they're walking.
Telling cars to stop.
And people, well, that's the thing. People are quite worried, obviously, with it's bad enough when you look at your phone and walk into a lamppost, but if you're driving a car and following a map in front of you and you drive into a building that wasn't on the map or all this stuff. So I guess there's going to have to be some sort of.
But then is that any different to when you
laws.
have your mobile phone stuck up to the right of you while you're driving?
You're not allowed to do that technically anymore, are you? That's now against the law.
What, even if you've got a holder? Oh, tough shit.
I know. No one listens,
Not
but
that.
that's what I mean. But it took ages for not being able to use your phone while you drive, didn't it? I wonder if this is going to be, if it does take off, if that's going to be something that's going to have to, there's going to be laws when and where you can use it.
The biggest problem is the fact that what you're seeing in these goggles it's not that the goggles are clear and they're just putting something in front of you.
No, it's a screen.
It's a screen of what the cameras are picking up from the goggles. So technically, it's as you say, it's a TV screen. It's not. So if something should happen, like a camera should go out all of a sudden, you're driving along, you lose half your vision.
Runs out battery.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
You're in trouble.
They have to make maybe like a clear mode where you click a switch and it goes clear as well, I guess. I don't know.
I saw a few people have also kind of said that it's the way that they've shown in the adverts where like when you look at someone you can see their complete face in front of their eyes and so doesn't look anything like that.
No, it's a bit dodgy even when they scan your face.
Oh, I liked that when I watched the video. I know, I quite liked it. I remember we were watching a video and the woman reporter, she was from the New York Journal, and she did a video call with her scanned face, so it wasn't her. And I was like, wow, that's amazing. And you laughed and went, that's awful. I was really quite impressed with it. I don't know why people.
I don't know. Although that can then turn into how Instagram filters and stuff. Eventually, maybe this will be where you have your preferred face on show. Do you know what I mean? There's all these things to think about.
They'll start having dog ears.
Well, they'll just be perfected skin. Perfected skin, chiseled, I'll be on here. Snatched. Is it me or not? Who knows? That's where it's going to end.
We should play a game called Ben Snatched. Is Ben snatched or is Ben not snatched? We'll never know. But I'm very excited. I'm one of those.
I just want to try one, but we're not influenced enough. We're not rich enough.
Well, first of all, we're not living in America because it seems as though the only market that have got them is America. Because I went onto the Apple UK site to just check to see what the price is in the UK, and there's no information about them at all on the Apple UK site. I don't know if anywhere else in the world they're being launched as well, but it seems to me that I live my life like a candle in the wind, and that Apple are only releasing them in the American market right now to see how they get on. I mean, I do get excited about new tech. I'm not going to lie. It does excite me. And then once I have the initial kind of drunk reaction to it, the hangover afterwards, I kind of think to myself,
yeah,
but what is this going to make us become? But I kind of...
Also, is it something we need? Like 3D TVs was all like, 3D, so that disappeared.
No, 3D TVs, I knew from the start they were a waste of time.
VR gaming, I'm not sure if it's really taken off how they thought it was, but it's still kind of around. Metaverse, not really taken off. Do you know what I mean? So there's lots of things like this where people have tried, like the Google Glass.
Google Glass got in trouble because it made people get slightly... Well, this is... I don't know if this is true, actually. It might be allegedly. But I do get why this could work. First of all, it's Apple. Don't forget it's Apple. They're a very influential tech company. But second of all, if they were able to refine it in, say, 15 years' time, if it was literally just a pair of glasses, it wasn't these big goggles over your eyes, it was just a pair of glasses, and that battery lasted 8 to 10 hours, then I can see people using them.
That's what I said. I don't think I'm going to find it now, but someone took it apart and they said how like tiny it was. I probably won't be able to find it now.
But they obviously done the goggles because obviously that's how you imagine a VR headset should look. But if Apple, I don't know, and I guess because it's all encompassing as well for
there you go. That's what it is with everything taken apart.
No, yeah, so that's the screen.
That's how tiny it could be. People are saying
it's still quite large though. I mean, you wouldn't fit that in a glasses frame. Do you know what I mean?
No, but compared to what they've actually done it as, so
it must be quite heavy too, because a lot of people have complained that it's quite. So they've given them an extra strap, haven't they? So anyway.
Right then, so
Exciting.
Last topic of the day then, please.
Yes, well, I mean, as I'm sure people probably heard about this, but I just think it's the sweetest thing in the world.
Well, I never heard about it.
Well, Elmo from Sesame Street fame, just put out a tweet on the 29th of January, so 5 days ago, or from when we're recording, and he basically just asked people, how's everyone doing? Elmo is checking in. How is everybody doing? That's all he wrote. That's all he wrote.
Right.
I'm talking as if Elmo literally got his little furry thumbs and did it on his little furry
Someone
iPhone.
tweeted, where do we begin? Elmo, we are tired.
Lots of people said, Elmo, I'm tired. And it caused traction. It kind of, I know, I love that meme as well of Elmo just staring.
Suffering.
I mean,
someone replied.
Yes, but basically this caused this one tweet kind of caused a discussion, not only by the fact that it's cute that Elmo had sent this reply, but also kind of like the state of affairs with how mental health is being treated around the world. Are you laughing at mental health?
No, I'm laughing at the tweets that I'm reading. But it's people are basically trauma dumping on Elmo, aren't they?
But it's interesting to discuss what's happening with the mental health situation around the world. If we're looking at our own country in the UK, like psychiatric beds have actually decreased in the UK since the year 2000. Our NHS is on its knees having to deal with physical problems that people can see, and people seem to forget that it's also completely wrecked the mental problems that have happened in this country as well. Like if you need to see a doctor about some kind of PTSD or anxiety or anything like that, you're on a waiting list for months and months and months and months. And it's interesting to kind of like discuss that, like, in a poll from 2021, 30% of the UK said they felt that they were suffering from some form of mental health condition. 30%. That's
why is it that low? I thought it'd be higher.
That's one in three. Is quite a high percentage.
Oh yeah, that's true.
That's really scary. And in England and Wales in 2021, there were 11 deaths from suicide to every 100,000 people. That's 11 deaths is too many. Like it's these people. When there's help that could be given out to people so easily, and it's just kind of being ignored. And I feel like that this, as you said, people were venting themselves to Elmo. So as much as
using comedy as a coping mechanism.
Yes, and that's great.
That's what the internet does.
But I think it's something that really is a discussion that really has to be discussed.
We shouldn't rely on Elmo to ask us.
Well, no,
how are we doing?
Exactly. But also it's the discussion of also, I think that like talking as a man, like men don't like to discuss their feelings and their problems and this, that, and the other, and that's something that's really, and is that something that else we kind of need to highlight in this world as well, that like men need to kind of like talk to each other a lot more as well.
They just need to be able to feel like they can say it, don't they? I suppose.
But what makes them feel like that they can't say it?
Don't know. Sorry, I was expecting a fun Elmo section, and now you're asking me these deep questions. I have no idea. What makes you think you can't? Because men have this image that's being pushed on them sometimes, haven't they? Or the thing that they're trying to keep up with. Yes.
Yeah.
Mainly by the right-wing newspapers.
Okay. But it doesn't help when people do use the term snowflake so readily when a man kind of says
it's like when Piers Morgan had to go at the tennis a woman because she said, I'm not playing because of my mental health, and he just had to go at her for it and said, oh, that's not very sportsman.
Yeah, and then in the same heartbeat, Piers Morgan then puts on Twitter, it's like, it's unfair that people are attacking me for my opinion.
And Lawrence Fox posted that. He said, I'm getting death threats, please. And the people who won the case against him, he was like, please just stop this now, and you're hurting my mental health. And it's like, really?
But you had
really,
no...
Lawrence Fox?
But then that doesn't make it right. Two wrongs don't make a right.
It's a really bad bit. It's a 3-minute video, and then he starts having an actual... goes and attacks on the drag queen and calls him all sorts. So
okay. Well, anyway, so you clearly want to read out a few comments that people had said in return to Elmo.
It's just people were noticing I'm trauma dumping. Lots of people were basically saying about the working. My lowest, thanks for asking. I did not have us all trauma dumping on Elmo on my bingo card. Elmo, we are tired. Yeah.
A lot of people said they were tired. I saw on the tweet. Elmo did reply afterwards and said and thanked people for like being so open and honest to his tweet. And he said he would carry on now asking people if they're okay throughout the year. So keep an eye out for when. But Paddington, are you going to say Paddington? Paddington is the one. I've got Paddington. Paddington Bear replied to Elmo.
Lovely.
We love Paddington in this house. Paddington is a star. All the Paddington movies are Oscar worthy and deserve more recognition. And when Paddington 3 comes out, I will be doing a full show on comment below about my review of Paddington 3. I'm not joking.
Get past the tears.
Well, I was about to say I'm not one to hide my feelings, and I cried at both the Paddington movies. So Paddington
Snowflake
at Paddington Bear said, "Dear Elmo, it was kind of you to check in on all your friends this week. I've been busy making a lot of marmalade. How are you doing?" So it's nice that Elmo asked all these questions, but no one person asked how Elmo was doing.
I've just seen Georgina says, has anyone checked in on you, Elmo? How are you, pal? So there you go. Tech said, I'm not going to do this to you, Elmo. I'm going to hold it all in and let you know, keep your peace. So
yeah, but don't hold it. This is the point.
And all of these are taken with a pinch of salt. They're people joking.
Once again, I think then so a few of them are like genuine kind of like you could just tell people like at night at like 11:30 doom scrolling on their phone, saw that tweet and then decided that they wanted to reply to it.
Oreo said ran out of milk.
But this is what I was about to say. And then all the corporations started jumping on the bandwagon. And don't get me wrong, I appreciate that Sesame Street is a TV show that's made by HBO and, you know, kind of is publicizing itself by doing this. But at the same time, I then started seeing that Burger King said something and Domino's Pizza did a picture of a pizza on the floor and said, "Oh, can't stand it." And like kind of then took it out like
this is a trend that again has come from TikTok where corporate businesses have this thing where they can do a little informal joke reply to things, and that kind of started on TikTok when there was that woman who redid people's logos really badly.
Oh, I loved that.
Microsoft, and then it sort of snowballed from there, and then from now on, corporate companies can do these funny little things where they reply to stuff like this.
Well, on Threads, if you follow Threads, Channel 4 social media team, I don't know if they do it on X, but they do it on Threads. Channel 4 social media team start taking the mick out of ITV, and ITV then reply back, and then other channels join in as well. So it's funny because there's this kind of war between Channel 4 and ITV, like this fictional war on Threads. It's really funny.
The power of the internet. You don't know what's going to come.
So if you guys enjoyed listening to the show, don't forget to subscribe if you're listening to us on your favourite podcast app, and give us 5 stars and comment to say why you enjoy listening to the podcast. You can also, don't forget, watch us on YouTube. Just search Comment Below Podcast or BAM Productions on YouTube. You see our ugly mugs on there, 2 hairy cornflakes. And again, don't forget to subscribe, ring the bell and give us a thumbs up on the video so you never miss any future episodes of our podcasts. And of course, you can comment underneath the video with any suggestions of anything you'd like us to talk about, or indeed what we talked about on this episode. You can also find us on X at commentbelowpod, Instagram at commentbelow_pod, or email commentbelowpod@gmail.com.
Lovely. So we're going to end with our Facebook drunk mum quote of the week, as we always do. And this one's short but sweet and gets the point across. So it says, "A friend who understands your tears is much more valuable than a lot of friends who only know your smile." So until next week, goodbye.
Bye.